Oh Lord, the crazy things that people on the other side will do to a tarot reader or psychic to get their attention because they have a message for a loved one. Well, my name is Gypsy Spirit, and I've been a professional tarot reader, medium, psychic for over 11 years now. And I'm going to tell you a very bizarre story. By the way, welcome to my bizarre tarot stories here. I was working at a mattress store many years ago. And the manager of that mattress store, there was 5 stores, and this particular guy, I'm not going to tell you his name, I'm going to tell you his initials. His initials were RB. And RB and I got to be good friends. And one day, he called me on the phone at one of the stores that I was at, just to check on me, see how things were going. And we have those landlines that have the caller ID. And I looked at the caller ID, and just for the sake of privacy, I'm using the other person's initials as well. So I look at the caller ID, and it says BB. And it was the same last name as RB. And I thought, that's kind of funny. I wonder if this person's related to my manager, RB. And I just, it was just a silly thought that went through my head. Didn't really think any more of it. And so I answered the telephone, and guess what? It's RB. And I started laughing. And I said, oh, wow, that's really weird. And he's like, what? And I explained. I said, well, when you called and I looked at the phone, it said BB. And he got really quiet, like really quiet. And he said, could you take a snapshot of that and send it to me? He was like, yeah, sure. And then he began to explain. He said, Gypsy, that was my mother, BB. And she's been dead for over 2 years now. And there was no way, she was never, ever in any shape or form attached to my phone. Ever. Never. She was not put down as an emergency person or anything. She had nothing at all to do with my phone. And I still didn't get it. I just thought it was funny, Me as a psychic, you would think I would have gotten what was going on. But I'm like, oh, that's so funny. What a coincidence. And he's like really freaking out. And so a few minutes later, the owner of the store happens to come in. And he's talking. He won't shut up. He's just talking. And I'm like, And I'm standing up trying to keep this conversation going on with him. And there was a desk chair that I was standing behind, and it had a back like my rocking chair here. And all of a sudden, I felt this pain on my right shoulder. It was so excruciating, this pain. I thought I was going to pass out. I almost did pass out. It just out of the blue. And I'm listening to the owner just talk. And I'm thinking, God, he's got to get out of here. And, I can't handle this pain. And I didn't want to say anything. I'm trying to deal with the pain. And it was so painful. And I almost passed out that I actually grabbed the back of the chair to keep from falling over. And finally the owner left. And I sat there and I immediately realized what was going on. RB's mother, BB, was trying to get my attention because she had a message for her son. And she knew that I could give that message to him. And because I didn't pick it up the first time around, when we were seeing that her initials or that she was the one on the caller ID, when it was really RB, I didn't get it then. I blew it off and just thought, oh, what a coincidence. She was, sometimes these spirits on the other side, they can be vicious. They have a message to give and you don't give it. You're a psychic and they know that you're around somebody, they have a message they want for that person, and you refuse to, they're going to do some damage to you. They will. Just like this woman did. She hurt me. So I called my manager, RB, and I said, did your mother have a problem with her shoulder, her right shoulder? And he told me that she had passed away from breast cancer. And he said, well, yeah, she had a problem with one of her shoulders. I can't remember which one. And then he said, you know what? It was her right shoulder. I was like, so, okay, suddenly, ding, 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 the light bulb starts to come on for me. Duh. And I said, okay, I see what's going on here. And I told him what happened, how his mother had inflicted severe pain on my right shoulder. And I said, she has a message for you, and she wants to give it to you. And I met with him that night, and I gave him the message. And as a psychic, a tarot reader, medium, sometimes we'll second guess ourselves. I do it all the time. Well, no, not all the time now, because I'm a lot more comfortable with it. But he told me later that the things that I told him, he knew that I was authentic. He said, I question some people who claim to be psychics or mediums or whatever. You don't know how real they are. Sometimes they can try to scam people. He said, but I knew that you were authentic, because you told me things that nobody would have ever known other than me and my mom. And yeah, she had a long conversation with him, and she used me to talk to him. So, yeah, if you're looking for a psychic or a medium to help you out, do your research. Anyway, I hope this helps. And if you want a private reading with me, go to my website. Right now, I'm offering a 15-minute introductory offer, a mini reading for only $11.11. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.